Down to 2 to go in the regular season. The Cubs are playoff bound, and they've won 6 in a row as they play the middle game tonight. Cubs and the Brewers under the roof here at Miller Park in Milwaukee. And here's the math. Pretty simple. The Pirates with a win tonight or tomorrow, they get home field advantage on Wednesday against the Cubs, who would need to win out, and have the Reds win both in Pittsburgh to host that game at Wrigley. Great to have you with us, Jim DeShays and Len Casper. The Cubs are peaking at the right time, it seems, particularly the starting rotation last 6 times out. Just outstanding.
Oh, my, what a roll they've been on. The Cubs have pitched well all year long, especially early. Maybe midseason went through a little bit of a funk, but the starters in September have been lights out. And take a look at these numbers over the last 6 ball games. A 6-0 with an 0.23 ERA. That's 39 in the third innings pitched. Just 1 earned run allowed, 45 strikeouts against 2 walks.
Cubs have set a National League record for strikeouts as a staff, and we'll hear more about that from Chris Bosio, the pitching coach, in a couple of minutes. But we've got to talk about Starlin Castro. Just a few weeks ago, we wondered if he'd be on the postseason roster, and he'll likely be the starting second baseman Wednesday.
Yeah, a lot of very good stories for this team this year, but the redemption of Starlin Castro is certainly one of them. What a turnaround it has been. When he was taken out of the starting lineup on August 10th, he was hitting .236. Since then, he's batting .388, has a slugging percentage up over 600 in that stretch. You see the month of September, he led the National League with a .426 batting average over the last 25 games, hitting .403, and the power has come back. 5 home runs, 7 doubles. He has more extra base hits from the middle of August to the end of the year than he did the first 4 months of the season.
It's been quite a turnaround for Castro, and coming up here these last 2 games of the season, all it takes is 1. As Anthony Rizzo and Chris Bryant are 1 RBI away from 100. We'll hear from Chris Bosio. Get you set for Game 2 next. One of the, I think, great races in Cy Young history here. Jake Arrieta, Zach Greinke, and Clayton Kershaw. We'll talk more about the numbers a little later. Clayton Kershaw will pitch tomorrow and a chance to get to 300 strikeouts. Zach Greinke will pitch tonight, and a very good chance for him to win the ERA title. But we think Jake Arrieta might win the Cy Young. We know his pitching coach believes that. Let's hear from Chris Bosio talking about the Cy Young race and Jake Arrieta's place in it.
You know, what he's done in the second half of the year. I mean, Jake, probably should have made the All-Star team as well with some no decisions, being shut out twice before the All-Star break. But he didn't. And he did not, hold it against anybody. He was disappointed. But I think it made him even hungrier, wanting to be the best in baseball. I don't know if we're ever going to see another performance like what Bumgarner did, ever. I mean, that was phenomenal. I mean, basically taking the team, putting them on the back, and getting every ounce of energy out of them. I remember talking to Dave Righetti about it, and he says it was one of the most incredible performances he's ever seen. And this is you're talking to a former New York Yankee in Righetti. But we've managed his pitch counts on his bullpens. We've managed his his pitches and his games. We're very, very aware of all that, the inning totals. But we're talking about a different animal here than a lot of guys. I don't like losing, and it was very difficult. But, you know, I believed in what Theo and Jed were talking about. They believed, you know, and, you know, what me and Borzy and the rest of the coaches and Lester, you know, brought to the table. And, you know, when we had the opportunity to get these guys, we're going to make the most of it. It doesn't matter if it's a Jason Birkin or a Jake Arrieta. Our job is to try to get everything we can out of these guys at that given moment. And it just so happens when we got Jake, we were in need of bodies. You know, it was hard for us to fill out, you know, a pitching staff that could compete, you know, and slowly we started getting the position players, then we started acquiring more pitching, and we're not done yet.
Good stuff from the Cubs pitching coach Chris Bosio. Tyler Wagner will go for the Brewers, and it'll be Kyle Hendricks for the Cubs. We'll have all the action next here on CSN.
Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. AT&T U-verse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT, mobilizing your world. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
It's a little cold in Milwaukee, so the roof is closed once again tonight. As the Cubs look for their 7th in a row, and let's check out the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. I mentioned this the other day. They have not led the majors in walks since 1929. They're 4 behind the Toronto Blue Jays going into action here tonight. Fowler, Schwarber, and Bryant at the top. It'll be Rizzo, who homered last night, Castro and Coghlan in the middle. Addison Russell has had a nice rebound after a little bit of a soft stretch offensively. David Ross will catch tonight for the right-hander Kyle Hendricks. Check out the Brewers defensively. Davis, Santana, and Peterson left, center, and right. Perez, Segura, Jeanette, and Lind around the infield, third to first. Martin Maldonado, the veteran catcher, with Tyler Wagner, the rookie right-hander, on the mound.
Tyler Wagner, just 24 years of age. He's made 2 big league starts. Had success yet. One with 1174. He was really good down in the minor leagues at Double-A. Biloxi, he was 11-5 for the league best. 2.25 ERA.
Adam Hammery will call balls and strikes. Angel Hernandez at first, Chris Conroy at second, and the crew chief Ted Barrett is at third. And if tonight's Cubs leadoff man gets a hit, Benny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to Make-A-Wish, Illinois.
Scouting report on Wagner is more of a finesse type guy. He's not going to blow the fastball by you. Tries to sink it. A little cutting action as well. Throw a slider and a changeup.
Perez is in at third against a switch hitting Fowler, and here we go. And a first pitch fastball a little low to get us started. Cubs lead the season series 12-5. They've now taken 10 of the last 11. Ripped into center. And a leadoff single for Fowler. Make-A-Wish, Illinois, benefiting from Dexter Fowler's hit via Benny's Beverage Depot. Here's Kyle Schwarber playing right for the second straight night. And a check on the runner.
And for the second straight night, the Cubs are facing a pitcher they've never seen before, and that will be the case here tomorrow afternoon as well. Last night it was Ariel Pena. Boy, and he came out gangbuster, struck out 5 of the first 6 men he faced. Again, Wagner doesn't profile as a high strikeout type pitcher, more of a pitch to contact guy. The 4th round pick of Milwaukee in 2012 out of the University of Utah.
He was a closer in college. He didn't make a start in college as Schwarber sends one in the air. Left center. Davis tracking, and he's got it. That's the first out, and it'll bring up Chris Bryant, who knows Tyler Wagner very well. They played against each other in high school in Las Vegas. And they played on some travel teams as well. Boy, Vegas has been a hotbed of talent lately, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Joey Gallo, Bryce Harper, Chris Bryant.
Siegfried and Roy. Carrot Top. And Chris went to Bonanza High School. And Wagner, Bishop Gorman.
This was telling me before the game as he taps one back to Wagner. Nice pick by Jeanette, but they can't turn it. Bryant Speed makes that a fielder's choice and not a double play. He was saying Wagner was a shortstop and a pretty good hitter. And right around his sophomore, junior year in high school, he went to the mound. So 1 on with 2 down for Anthony Rizzo. JD, we probably take it for granted, but we should say on occasion that Chris Bryant is not a typical power hitting third baseman. Most guys who just hit that ball that fit his profile
are out.
They would have been out, right?
And that was one of the first observations I think we all made about Chris early in the year. We knew about the slugging, and I had no idea he was that good of an athlete and could run as fast as he does.
It can make such a huge difference. How about this inning, just keeping it alive for Anthony Rizzo. And a strike.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, a young pitcher, third big league start. You want to put a lot of pressure on him early. All pitchers, most pitchers, are vulnerable in the first inning before they settle in. He's way off the first base side of the rubber.
Bounced in front of the plate. 2-1.
Looking at his minor league splits, no real decided advantage right versus left in terms of batting average. Right-handed batters hit 243, lefties 252.
Hit on the ground to Jeanette, who was playing Rizzo to pull. And that'll end the first inning. Cubs waste the leadoff single by Fowler. Brewers coming up against Kyle Hendricks. Council, who's signed through 2017 as their skipper. Scooter Jeanette's been really good in the first inning. There you see that number, his on-base percentage, third in the National League when leading off. Segura, Lind, Davis, who homered last night. Santana's going to play center with Shane Peterson in right. Hernan Perez at third. Maldonado the catcher, and the pitcher Wagner batting ninth.
Cubs defensively, Chris Coghlan gets his second start of the road trip. He's in left, extra Fowler center. Kyle Schwarber getting another look out in right field. Third to first will go Bryant, Russell, Castro, Rizzo. David Ross behind the plate tonight. And Kyle Hendricks is the Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher. He is 7-7 with a 4.09 ERA. He's really thrown the ball well last couple of times out.
Mr. No Decision. 17 of them leading the majors, and that's a Cubs single season record. And the first pitch is a strike. We'll keep a close watch on the Reds and the Pirates tonight, and Cincinnati getting to A.J. Burnett early. And leading that game 1-0 as they're batting in the top of the first. Cubs need the Reds to win tonight and tomorrow, and the Cubs need to win both games here in order to host on Wednesday in the wild card. So tall order. Starling Marte with game-winning home run in the 12th last night. And Jeanette, very dangerous, JD, here in this spot. Leading off the first inning, his last 9 starts, he's 7 out of 9, including last night against Arrieta.
Misfiring there with his sinker, and that pitch has been really good for him the last couple of times out. The sinker changeup combination, outstanding for him last time. 6 shutout innings in his last start against the Royals, a career high tying 9 strikeouts.
3-2 on him.
The start before that was against the Brewers at Wrigley. He went 6 innings, allowed 3 runs, only 4 hits, didn't walk anybody, struck out 8. So 17 punch outs against 2 walks in his last 2 starts.
Time called before this payoff delivery. It's Chris Coghlan.
Here are the numbers on Kyle Hendricks. He's making his 32nd start. looking to finish the year above 500. That will happen with a win here tonight. So 7-7 with a 409 league, hitting 249 against them. Batting average by left-handed hitters against them this year is significantly higher than it was last.
Gene Segura, the shortstop, hitting second tonight, 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts in the opener. Dan Herron will pitch tomorrow. And what a stretch. We talked about it in the open, the last 6 times out, and that includes 2 Arrieta starts. Collectively 1 earned run allowed. That is the lowest ERA over a 6-game stretch by Cubs starters since at least 1914. And I think Ed Hardig just gave up at that point. Figured, why do I need to go back beyond that?
Well, you know what they always say, starting pitching is contagious.
And how about a staff record, a National League record for strikeouts? And set last night. Cubs pitchers have struck out 1,414 batters, breaking their previous record, 1404, the 2003 Cubs staff.
Cubs starters now with the 3rd best ERA in the National League, trailing Cardinals and Dodgers.
Line shot out into deep left center. Coughlin makes the one grab on the warning track.
Well, they had to come in for the first one, had to go back for that one, and a nice running catch, taking away extra bases from Gene Segura. Double, possible triple, dies in the glove of Chris Coughlin out there. Deep left center. Utter dejection.
2 outs, it's Adam Lind. Time the Reds have put up 2 in the first off A.J. Burnett. He had an early lead last night, couldn't hold it.
Tough to win late in that ballpark. Pirates seem to have that magic going at home. A lot of close games late.
Reds have lost 13 in a row.
Finnegan for the Reds tonight. Yep. Kid they got from the Royals. Pitched pretty well in the postseason for Kansas City last year.
Here comes a 1-2, and he stays alive.
Has pitched 3 times against the Brewers this year. A win, a loss, and no decision, an ERA of 1.96. Career 3-1 with a 172 against the Brewers.
Yeah, he has matched up well against them in these last couple of years.
This is his first full year in the big leagues. Last year he made 13 starts, was 7-2 with a 246.
Count 3-2.
Very cerebral guy. They call him the Professor. There's that 2-0 Reds lead in the first. Gus wants fastball in. Hendricks would prefer the changeup. Guy's always smiling.
Brewer usually happy. Hendricks with his first strikeout. He put up 9 his last time out. 0-0 after 1. Postseason is with MLB.com at bat, the #1 live app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and more. Get MLB.com at bat now.
There can't possibly be more, can there?
We've got the Reds Pirates dialed up on the at bat app. Just to keep an eye on that game as Starlin Castro will lead off the Cubs second, and he looks at a strike. Sinker at 89.
Do you ever do that? Do you ever have another game on and you start to call that game?
No, not yet.
Once I had a game on one time and I saw a replay or saw a play on the second game and I went, "Ooh, what a play!" And there's nothing going on in our game.
Will pop up toward right on a broken bat, and Jeanette on the move makes the catch. Castro retired. It'll bring up Chris Coghlan. Big crowd. There are a lot of Cub fans here, as you can imagine. The Brewers actually moved their fan appreciation day up a homestand because they figured there would be a lot of Cub fans here this weekend. It makes sense.
They didn't want to shower Cub fans with gifts.
1-0 on Coghlan. That's that off his foot.
Chris has lost playing time lately.
Played left a lot early. Then when Castro went to the bench, we saw a lot of time at second. More recently, he's been playing a fair amount of right field. He's in left tonight with Schwarber over in right.
And I think with the emergence of Tommy Listella and other options that Joe Madden has, it's just kind of a natural byproduct of moving guys around. Some guys have lost at bats. Coughlin's one of them. He's been in a bit of a funk here. His average dropped down to 245, but as quickly as he goes down, you know he can come back up. Overall, he's had a solid year. Career best 16 home runs.
Wagner's 2-2 is outside. It's full 3-2. Addison Russell on deck.
He's obviously pressing his case to be in the lineup Wednesday. Feels like he should be out there against Garrett Cole, who was officially announced as the starter today by the Pirates for the wild card game.
Line shot the other way. That'll find the alley. And Coghlan tried for three. Relay throw. Not in time.
Way to play the game.
Well, that looked like one of those automatic doubles, right to left center, but he just kept on running, and he's got himself a triple.
Well, that's when the play's in the left center gap, you can watch it, unfold as a base runner and make that determination. You don't need any help from your base coach on a ball like this. He earns this triple right out of the box. He's going hard the whole way. He's making no assumptions. A real great sense of urgency out there in the outfield for the Brewers. And Coghlan just continues to push on. Head down, chugging hard all the way. That's the winner on the bases.
Sixth triple this year, 24th of his career. Infield will move in a bit. Addison Russell, ball one. ESPN named Russell the Defensive Player of the Month for September, based on their statistical defensive metrics. Outside, 2-0.
Also banged a couple doubles off the wall last night. One to left, one to center.
Ground ball, base hit out, and the Cubs have the lead, 1-0. Addison Russell with an RBI single.
Well, Coughlin's hustle pays off. Standing on third base, Russell pushes one through the hole on the right side of the infield. Cubs have a lead.
When the Cubs get the first run, they are 70-18. Now strike on David Ross. Good lead by Russell at first.
Stolen a couple bases recently. Overall this year he's not run much. Not a big part of his game. Remember early in the year he was taking those huge leads. Had to get him to back off a little bit.
A little closer.
Like that though, right? You know, most young players, and I'm referring more to Russell at the beginning of the year. You know, most young players play the game tentative. They're a little scared. Never got that sense with Russell. Quiet confidence about him.
Brewers might want to take another look at it. That's why we have a pause here. Craig Counsell still waiting.
Time's up. Next year we should have a timer.
Kind of like the game shows. Boop, boop, boop. Ooh.
No whammies, no whammies.
They have challenged. He might have been out.
Yeah, boy, I couldn't tell. It was close. For me, it would be difficult to overturn whatever they had called there on the field based on what we saw.
Forsythe Technology replay review.
Could you argue that Lynn didn't even have control of the ball when he was applying the tag? I mean, he never had to re-grip it, did he?
No, I think that he did have control of it and that it stayed in the glove. Did he tag him before the hand got to the bag? It looked like he did. I mean, if he did, it was an inch away from the bag.
Well, we're all rooting for you to be right, Angel.
Yep.
Angel Hernandez, the first base umpire there. He just turned his back. Ted Barrett, the crew chief, alongside. Not sure who the guy in the middle is. He's the, I guess you would call him the replay on-field coordinator.
That's a good call. Yeah. He might even be a senior coordinator. They're grinding away in New York. Time the Pirates have scored in the bottom of the first, so 2-1 Reds. Pittsburgh still batting. That's a good play by Lynn to keep that ball in his mitt.
And also, as I said, you know, so he applies the tag and then shows Angel without doing the open the glove to secure the baseball, because I think if you do that, you kind of indicate that you don't have control of the baseball. You hear me now? You hear me now? I think they got dropped.
Worked out for the Cubs.
I could tell the way Angel was running back to his position that he felt vindicated.
So Craig Counsell will lose his challenge. After a pretty long delay, we will continue. 1 strike on Ross. Back to Russell's defense for a second. Talking to Joe Madden and Ron Coomer before the game. Yanni compared Russell's shortstop play and how steady he is to Alan Trammell. Joe dropped to Gary DiSarcina. You always expect Addison to make the right play. He's the athletic. Over is Peterson. He makes the catch in foul territory for the second out. We've seen in the past a lot of shortstops who have tremendous range, but they can't make the routine play or the right play.
The right play,
bad decisions. He doesn't seem to do this.
Yeah, for a 21-year-old kid, the instincts seem to be off the charts. And if he does make an error in judgment, usually that's the last time you see it. You know, he fixes it.
Sends one high in the air to left center. A little bit too much air underneath. It gives Davis a chance to make the grab. That will end the inning. Chris Condon, the spark plug, a 1-out triple to the gap. He scores on the Russell single. The Cubs lead 1-0. On the lakefront or the Chicago River, contact Anita D Yacht Charters. Anita D Yacht Charters specializes in fully customizable corporate outings, social events, and weddings aboard their 2 private and exclusive luxury yacht venues. Book today at AnitaD.com. Chris Coughlin with the big triple, and Russell then knocked him in with a base hit. So Kyle Hendricks has a lead. He's ahead of Chris Davis, 0-1.
Coughlin also made a nice running catch in the bottom half of the first inning to take extra bases away from Gene Segura.
We've become slightly desensitized, I think, to replay over the course of the last couple of years, right? These are regular season games, but that call at first in the last half inning, you get into a wild card game situation. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Enormous.
Yep.
Call strike 3. I've got to look it up. I think each manager gets 2 challenges
in the postseason.
That
sounds right. And not only am I saying that because I usually just agree with you when you say something like that, but I truly believe that to be the case.
There's Domingo Santana. He's playing center. We saw him in right last night. 1 for 3 with a walk in the opener.
And there definitely has to be a strategy too as to how you use those challenges. You can understand Counsell doing it there with his rookie pitcher on the mound, trying to help him get through that inning. But the Cubs are down near the bottom of the batting order. 8-9 coming up.
Yeah, and I think having that extra one in the playoffs will make you much more likely to challenge something in the first inning. You know you've got another one in the
but I think in a playoff situation, if you had only one, I certainly don't think you would fire it right there unless your video guy said without a doubt they missed that call.
Each club gets 2 manager challenges to start each all-star postseason and divisional or wild card tiebreaker game. The 2-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. 3 consecutive strikeouts for Hendricks.
He's been a strikeout machine lately. As I mentioned, 17 combined in his last 2 starts. This is that cut changeup.
Shane Peterson playing right. Cubs did not have to face Ryan Braun these last 2 series against the Brewers. He's been dealing with back issues and recently shut down for the rest of this 2015 season. 1-1.
There he is now. Looks different out of uniform.
A little bit. 1-2.
I got a feeling there's more Arrieta jerseys here tonight than there are Braun.
Could be.
There's former Brewer Zach Greinke. He's pitching for the Dodgers tonight.
Swing and a miss on the changeup. He strikes out the side. 4 in a row for Hendricks. 1-0.
Nothing Cubs get into the holiday spirit a little early and support Cubs charities by being part of our holiday tradition. Purchase your limited edition Chicago Cubs home and away Christopher Radko glass ornament. Ornaments cost $60. All proceeds will benefit Cubs charities. Visit Cubs.com/ornament for more information.
Yeah, it's that time of the year. Are you going to get out your Papa Smurf cap before we finish?
I don't think we'll need it here because the roof is closed, but it's in the bag.
The November chill here in early October. It's 53 outside. It's been a very windy weekend. Yeah. 67 degrees indoors as we got started. No AC in this ballpark. They can heat it up, I think, up to 30 degrees higher than it is outside. Now, the retractable roof in Houston and the one in Arizona, those are for the middle of the summer months. The one here is for April, some of May, and a little bit of September and beyond. Two, 1, 3-1 on Fowler.
I'm trying to think who it is that Wagner reminds me of. The way he draws the ball out of his glove and kind of presents it up high. It'll come to me at some point this winter. I'll shoot you a text.
Okay. I'll post it on Twitter. Hey, remember JD talking on October 3rd? Hard to compare him to anybody wearing that color uniform. What would you call that?
That color?
Kind of metallic gold, I guess. I don't know.
It's goldish. Maybe Poupon yellow.
Ball strike 3. It's the first strikeout for Wagner.
No argument from Fowler. I think his fastball has a little cutting action. That was a backdoor, kind of a little backdoor cutter. That's a two-seamer. That's the one he's trying to get a ground ball with.
Figure out what the actual color is. Someone said lager on the internet.
Is it beer?
The Brewers, you could buy that. Kind of a lager color. Cream City. I'll tell you right now, I would not look good in that color.
Oh, don't sell yourself short.
Yellow or red. Bad look for me.
So you would put it in your contract. I cannot be traded to the Brewers unless they're going to wear their white or their blue.
Yeah, I could wear blue maybe while they wear the lager.
Casper has a uniform clause refusing to be traded to the Brewers.
Segura making the play. 2 outs. Here's Chris Bryant. Bryant and Rizzo each with 99 RBIs. High pitch first inning for both Burnett and Finnegan in that game in Pittsburgh. I don't think it's going to be a long night for the starters.
I was looking at the long-range forecast for the wild card game. It looks like it's going to be pretty nice. A high of 72 in Pittsburgh on Wednesday. That's what they're calling for now, anyway.
It's low. 2 balls, no strikes to Bryant.
It's an 8 o'clock Eastern time start, so if you got 72 as a daytime high, you're probably playing that game in high 50s, low 60s maybe.
Eric on Twitter says maybe a little Matt Latos, Tyler Wagner. I'm thinking how he's starts his motion. It is.
Yeah, I get
the
that.
arm motion,
but there's somebody who has that kind of present it to the hitter up high out of the glove.
Bryant drives it to deep center, and it will be caught. That's that top spinner he hits occasionally. Didn't get the underspin that would have made it go about 450 feet. 1-0 Cubs in the third. That make this franchise one of a kind. Watch We Are Good, a celebration of the 2015 Chicago Cubs, presented by Felco, Monday at 10:30 on CSN Chicago. Joe met with the team before batting practice. They were working on their bunts. The little stuff becomes a lot more important this time of year.
Yeah, they went through some drills. Safety squeezes, guys getting reads from third base, guys getting bunts down. Just wants to, I think, really just emphasize how important the technique fundamentals are as you get into the postseason. Up against top-notch pitching, and every single play takes on added significance. Also did some work with Kyle Schwarber out in right field.
Swing and a miss, strike three. Man, 5 in a row he has punched out. Perez down. Here's Maldonado.
That swing was an afterthought.
Maldonado's done much of the catching since Jonathan Lucroy went down with the concussion. Bachelor party tonight. They've got the game on. Gabe Hansen is the star of the show. As Chris Bryant makes the play. Gabe, be safe tonight. Have fun. Congratulations.
Yeah, I went home last night and drove up today. Stopped at the little service plaza there at the Lake Forest Oasis. Gassed up and. School bus pulled up, emptied out full of Cub fans. Everybody had their gear on. Saw a lot of Cub fans on the road heading this way.
994 series. You go to the Brat Stop in the Mars Cheese Castle? Or
no, just got some gas, went in. I was going to get a coffee, but the line was a little too long.
Here's the man, Jake Arrieta. What a finish. 6 shutout innings last night. 22-6 with a 177. 5th pitcher to have a 22-win season, no more than 6 losses, and a sub-2 ERA since the earned run became an official statistic in 1913. The previous 4 pitchers to do that all were unanimous Cy Young Award winners. Koufax, McClain, Guidry, Gooden.
It helps build a case, doesn't it?
Yeah. Tomorrow, respectively. Arrieta's season, at least the regular season, is over. He'll pitch on Wednesday against the Pirates. The toughest case to make is probably for Clayton Kershaw, but the strikeouts, that's the interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he's probably going to finish with 300 strikeouts or more. That's one of those magic numbers in baseball that gets everybody's attention. His second half has been really, really good. And when you look at some of the peripherals, the really deep stuff, the esoteric feeling independent pitching and things of that nature, that makes his case a little more compelling. At the end of the day, I still think Arrieta's the guy.
Yeah, I do too.
I think the electorate will look at those wins, and even though wins are diminished in terms of analyzing performance, it's hard not to be influenced by that and by this historic run he's been on.
1-0 on Anthony Rizzo. Kyle Hendricks, by the way, through 3. Has retired all 9, 6 on strikeouts. I think Jake will win it. I think any of the 3 could win it. And I would say this. If Jake doesn't win it, there will be some people who will be really upset. But I don't think if another one of the guys on that list we just showed you, if they win, I don't think you could say anybody was robbed. They've all been that good.
Right, yeah. It's just been an unbelievable year. Have 3 guys pitch at such a high level.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Rizzo knocked in 3 last night. Career .330 hitter, 112 at bats in this ballpark with 10 home runs. It's that ball hard and through past the diving Hernan Perez.
Well, there's that 2-strike approach we saw from him last night when he drove in 2 in the 5th inning. Watch how quiet the lower body gets. Just plants that front foot, no leg kick. Throws the barrel at the ball.
Eric on Twitter wants to know, it says, tell JD I need closure on the anecdote. Did he get coffee elsewhere?
No, I did not.
You did not?
Not until I got here.
Ground ball is short off the bat of Castro, and that'll go 6-4 to 3. Double play, 2 outs. Nobody on, and it'll bring up Coughlin.
Maybe pulled off that one just a little bit.
Triple and the only run of this game in the second. The game of the day and one of the games of the year occurred in Arlington earlier this afternoon. The Angels were down 10-6 in the 9th inning, scored 5 times, and then they won the game when Elvis Andrus overslid second base on a stolen base attempt. So the Angels still very much alive. The Rangers have not yet clinched the American League West as a result. The Twins are out. They lost today to Kansas City. The Astros are in Arizona. They won last night 21-5.
Yeah, I believe that's franchise high, 21 runs.
I don't know if it's the most the Diamondbacks have ever allowed. So Houston a half a game ahead of the Angels. Angels are at least alive until tomorrow. And Houston's a game and a half behind Texas in the American League West. Line shot left field, and it is down for a base hit. Coughlin trying to get to second, and he does. Mr. Hustle, Charlie Hustle tonight with a double and a triple.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes you go, that guy's being reckless on the bases, but both times the game situation made perfect sense to press for it. In the second inning with his triple, there was 1 out. That's the time you want to try to get to third base. Here, 2 outs, nobody on. Why not take a shot? Try to get yourself into scoring position. He's trying to hustle his way under that lineup card for the wild card game. I'm obligated now to say he's halfway to a cycle.
Russell is a quarter of the way there. He is singled.
And I'm also obligated to say, and he's got the hardest part. He's got the triple.
We're going to empty our drawer of cliches before the broadcast schedule concludes. Swing and a miss.
Good let up there. Wagner, as advertised, not a power guy, but he has a pretty good idea of what he's doing out there. As I mentioned, he led the Southern League in ERA. The guy who finished behind him, his teammate, will pitch tomorrow.
Jorge Lopez.
He was on the field before the game. He received the Brewers Minor League Pitcher of the Year award. Lopez did.
Myrtle Beach Pelicans outfielder Trey Martin a few days ago was handed a Gold Glove award, Rawlings Minor League Gold Glove, for his work in center field. Did not make an error in 105 games this year.
So do they do in the minor leagues? Do they do one like for every league?
The honorees were selected among qualifying players from the 10 domestic-based full-season minor leagues.
Okay.
So I think one position.
So
Trey Martin was considered the best defensive center fielder in the minors. That's pretty cool.
Yes. Quite an accomplishment.
15 games with South Bend, and 90 games at Myrtle Beach. Played the entire year without committing an error. 13th round pick, 2011. Aaron Altair, remember we saw him with the Phillies. He won it in right field. And Dominguez running to third base.
Kid they used to be with the Astros.
I think so, yeah.
And the Marlins before that.
Swing and a miss on the 3-2, and Wagner gets out of the fourth inning. Cubs lead this one 1-0. The game, and thanks to everyone who's been sending them to hashtag Northside Data Strong Fan, brought to you by T-Mobile. That's a great one to end on.
Yeah,
right there.
yep.
Young Cub fan.
Future shortstop. Yep.
And happy birthday wishes go out to Cheryl Johnson. Watching us and rooting on the Cubs tonight. Cheryl's son Matt, one of the Cubs' fine athletic trainers. Sharply hit ground ball right to Russell. Peter Jeanette is out. He's 0 for 2. 10 straight sent down by Kyle Hendricks to start this game.
Yeah, he's had a lot of clean innings in his recent starts. He hasn't been walking anybody. I mean, he's talking about peaking at the right time. He had that good stretch earlier this year. Remember, he had, what, 20 some odd scoreless innings. He seems to have rediscovered the feel for the sinker and the changeup. Yeah, his two starts ago against the Brewers, he retired the first 14 batters he faced in that ball game.
Back to Hendricks. And Segura's out.
It has been quite a finishing kick by this starting rotation. Now the third best ERA in the National League as a group, and over the last 6 games, an 0.23. One lousy earned run in 39 1/3. Jake Arrieta in Pittsburgh right now, he's like Godzilla. He's just this otherworldly creature that's going to come to destroy their city. That's how they view Arrieta right now.
Some more pitching notes. I mentioned the staff has set a new National League record for strikeouts. Cubs have a 3.50 strikeouts to walks ratio. That's the highest they've had in modern team history, dating back to 1900. The pop up in the shallow center. Russell got a good break on it, makes it look easy, and that will end the fourth. 4 perfect frames from not that guy, but Kyle Hendricks. 1-0 Cubs.
Probably should have made the All-Star team as well with some no decisions, being shut out twice before the All-Star break. But he didn't. And he did not, hold it against anybody. He was disappointed, but I think it made him even hungrier, wanting to be the best in baseball.
Well, I know Jake would give Chris Bosio a lot of the credit. And his catchers, like Borzello, works on the scouting reports. And the advanced guys who bring in those scouting reports, video coordinators. It is a team effort. There's David Ross. It is low, 2 balls, no strikes. 2-1 Reds as they go to the bottom of the third in Pittsburgh. Cubs hoping the Reds can win 2 and Cubs can finish off this series with a sweep. I will say this, though, just kind of gauging what's going on in the clubhouse. Cubs have won 95 games. They're not going to be intimidated by any situation. If they have to go to Pittsburgh, they'll go, they'll play. And I think they're going to win. If they're at home, they're at home.
Yeah, I'm guessing the players have, in their minds, for a while now, pretty much come to the conclusion that they're going to Pittsburgh to play that game, and they're comfortable with it. They would love to have things work out and host that game at Wrigley, but we knew it was a bit of a long shot.
So, yeah, I don't think they're watching the scoreboard as closely as fans are.
No. Right.
They're just here to win, and whatever happens, happens. The 3-1. It's a strike. That guy has been great. On the hands, ball 4. That sets up nicely for a bunting situation. All right, so this year, last year, 22 more wins, 9 more complete games. Shave a half a run off the ERA. The road win thing is interesting. 46 wins, that's the most by a Cubs team since 1945, when the NL champs won 49. That was a club record.
The only way you have a turnaround like that is you bring in a lot of new players, and that's what this club has done.
Stolen bases, Cubs running a lot more this year. And that Respect 90 campaign started in spring training, and I think for the most part, everybody bought in. Really key component to this whole thing. Scores on an 0-2. Throws going to go to second. They're going to get.
Wait a minute. He's out on a tag at home, and they didn't get the force at second base.
So Hendricks tagged out, and Ross is going to be safe. Yeah, that worked out for the Cubs.
Counsell out on the top step of the dugout. He does not have a challenge left. Kyle doesn't get this bunt out in front of home plate, so Maldonado catches and tags him. Adam Hamari with the call there. So this becomes a tag play at second base. Segura didn't recognize that. That's a sacrifice bunt. The most peculiar one.
Strike on Dexter Fowler. You look at the structure of this organization. Ricketts family owns the team. Theo Epstein got hired. His show to run. Theo hires Joe Madden. Theo lets Joe be Joe. We cannot underscore how important that is, and it doesn't happen everywhere. We hear stories about owners who, for lack of a better word, meddle with what their presidents of baseball operations and GMs want to do. So it gets past the pitcher, and Fowler is out on a nice save. And again, Craig Counsell does not have a challenge. I thought Segura got him, but Angel Hernandez called him safe, so he's safe.
This is a charmed existence that David Ross is living, moving around the bases here. He should have been out at second base, but Segura didn't realize he had to tag him. This time he breaks on this ground ball back to the mound, and after the misplay, he's able to get to third base.
Just get a big break.
Yeah, no challenge for Counsell.
So that'll be an infield hit for Fowler.
I think Rossi should just steal home now. He's pretty much invisible.
Well, that is why replay, especially in the regular season, still is a strategic situation. It's not just get every call right. But Counsell lost his challenge in the second inning, and therefore they are not able to go and look at that in New York. But anyway, you know, Tom Ricketts letting Theo be Theo, letting Joe be Joe, and
same thing you hear in any other business environment. People say hire good people, let them do their jobs. Doesn't always happen in sports.
And I think Joe letting his players be themselves too, giving them a lot of freedom. Respect 90 is really the only rule he has, which does encompass more than just running hard to first, but.
Yeah, for all his progressive thinking, there's still an old school sensibility about him. He wants the game. Any manager does. You want the game played the right way. Play smart baseball.
Swing and a miss, so he opened up the throttle on 3-0. Bases loaded. Kind of an unlucky inning for Tyler Wagner. Now he's got to face the guy he's known for a long time, going back to their days in Las Vegas, Chris Bryant. He's 1 RBI away from 100. He may not have a better opportunity to get to 100 the rest of the weekend than this spot.
Just shared a word with Rizzo there. Maybe he called his shot. Maybe he said, I'm going to get him right here.
AT&T Uverse multi-view. Maybe Chris said, I'll knock him a couple here, and I'll make sure there's still guys on base for you.
Get 2 and leave you with 2.
Stairs, ball 1. There is a buzz in this ballpark. It's coming from the fans of the road team. Swing and a miss.
Changeup's been an effective weapon for Wagner, and he's been effective both against left and right-handed hitters with it. Sometimes it's reminiscent of Hendricks, who'll have a little cutting action away from the right-handed hitters.
Two, he got it. Big punch out for Wagner. He's still not out of the woods as he'll face Rizzo.
He's back-to-back with the changeup, and Bryant, pursuit of that 100th RBI, maybe in the back of his mind, maybe a little anxious.
Two-out RBI chance here for Rizzo.
This would be quite a feat for this kid if he can get out of this mess. I'm going to deal with Bryant and then Rizzo with the bases loaded.
So the onus is on Wagner to get out of this inning.
You could say that.
2 strikes on Rizzo. We get all the puns in here too.
It was a 2-2 pitch last time. He whacked into center field for a base hit. This time he's got to work his way back from 0-2. Here he goes, choking up a little bit. Ball off a tough pitch. Ready to fight another day.
Scherzer 5 perfect innings in New York. That's in the Mets. Nothing in the 6th. Another 0-2. Another foul.
So game 2 of a doubleheader. The Nationals won the first game, I believe.
Yeah. Three to 1 earlier today. Rizzo has a below average strikeout rate, meaning that's good, and an above average walk rate. Especially for a power guy, strike out just 15% of his plate appearances. That's outstanding. 11.3% for the walks.
He's among the league leaders in meetings induced too. Such a tough at bat. Sometimes the catcher out there commiserating with the pitcher, and how are we going to finish this guy off? Oh man, you're the catcher. You figure it out. You put it down, I'll throw it. If he hits it, it's on you.
Two punch down the left field line, but just out of play.
The stress of this game is really getting to Riz.
Ground ball to first. It's Lynn down to a knee. Wagner covering, and he escapes. Bases loaded situation. He gets Bryant on the strikeout. Rizzo on the ground out. Cubs leave him loaded. Cap, thank you. Kyle Hendricks back to work. 1-0 lead. Cubs have a chance to really break it open. Two and 0. And Chris Davis.
Davis, bona fide slugger, got off to a slow start, but second half he's been outstanding for the year. 27 home runs. a little respect in a one-run ball game.
The 1 is a strike, 3-2. Starters have settled in a little bit in Pittsburgh. All the runs coming in the first. 2-1 Cincinnati.
Arrieta 6 shutout innings last night. Brewers hit 1 ball out of the infield. They've hit a couple out of the infield so far here tonight. They haven't spent a lot of time in the red zone.
Men in scoring position. Yep. Many chances. Ross concussed earlier this season. And Hammery, the home plate umpire, giving him a couple of extra seconds. Three-two. Get on the ground. Right to Castro. Good comeback by Hendricks.
Yeah, well done. Right now is a great time to plan for your 2016 Cubs spring training experience at beautiful Sloan Park. Cubs.com/Sloan Park to place deposits on season tickets and secure the best seats available. Individual spring training tickets go on sale in January, so be sure to check back. Cubs.com/Sloan Park for the latest updates.
Domingo Santana called strike. I think Kyle's really thinking about it this way, but a bit of an audition for some postseason work if the Cubs get past Wednesday. Call strike 3. If this is an audition, he's passing.
He'll definitely get a call back.
Right.
Santana chased a changeup last time, so they double cross him here and they come right back with a sinker. And he's thinking, all right, stay back, don't get fooled, don't get fooled. And by the time he realizes it's a heater, he can't pull the trigger.
Yeah, for all the angst about possibly who goes after Arrieta and Lester, you mentioned it earlier, Cubs on the top 3 in ERA now.
Yes. Yeah, and you know, at some point, if you have a long run in the postseason, your depth is going to be tested.
2-1. And Shane Peterson swing and a miss on the changeup. So here's the other thing. You've won 95 games. You're 30 over 500. You're in the playoffs. You feel like you can pitch a little better next year. You feel like the kids can get a little bit better. Defensively, this team started out a little slow. They've gotten better as the months have gone on. But there's room for improvement.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's for a good chunk of the first half. I mean, offensively, it was kind of meh. Baez is going to get his chances. Matt Caesar could bring on a much larger role with this club next year.
On the ground, right to Russell. Perfectly positioned. 5 perfect innings. Kyle Hendricks mowing him down.
Addie's played short, but you got to talk about how much better Starlin's been and how well he handled a 3-time All-Star being moved off his position in the middle of a season. A lot of times that's not going to go over really well. And to his credit, man, he's come back with a vengeance. He's playing the game as good as I've ever. I mean, this is my first year, obviously, but I think his complete game. I've talked to other coaches that are talking to me on the batting from other teams, and they've been really impressed with the game that he's playing right now. And that's, you're talking about Addison, what he's done. I think Starlin could be included in that same conversation. His complete game is starting to show up.
Castro almost undoubtedly will be in the starting lineup Wednesday versus the Pirates. Wherever that game is played, as he skies into center, Santana comes on, makes the belt tie grab for the out.
Santana's a little wobbly out there, isn't he? The last 25 ball games, Starlin Castro, a .403 hitter with big power numbers, an OPS up over 1,100, 5 long ones, 7 doubles. I mentioned it in our open. Since losing his job, when he was taken out of the starting lineup there back in August, he has batted .372 with a .620 slugging percentage.
Well, that's the other part of it. You know, as time has moved on this year in particular, it's become a meritocracy, and that's to Joe's credit that he's kept everybody, quote, happy, and a part of it, even when they maybe haven't played quite as much as they wanted to, is Chris Coghlan, one of those guys who has been on the bench a lot more lately. 3 for 3 tonight.
And he's 3/4 of the way to the cycle. So he had that big game a while back in Philadelphia, went 4 for 5 and just crushed the ball, and whatever it was big. Since then, he hasn't really done much at all. He was just 2 out of his last 28, 0 for 16 coming into this one. He appears to be back. And much like Castro's response was, fighting for his place on this team, now you see Coghlan doing the same thing, saying, "Don't forget about me, Joe."
That's the best way to do it. Santana back now in. A lot of people behind the scenes do wonderful work with a traveling party, but I want to point out in particular Tim Buss, the Cubs strength and conditioning coordinator. He's had that job, including a few others, since 2001. But the amount of respect these players have for Bussy is off the charts. He holds a little team get-together before stretch every day. He's got everybody laughing. Keeps everybody loose. They all rely on him on the plane to make sure everything goes well. He's just the best, and we wanted to point out his contributions. A Newton, Iowa Hall of Famer, Tim Buss. Nicely done, sir. There's a reason he's been here that long through a few regimes.
Right, yeah. You identify, like we talked about earlier, you get people that are good at their jobs, you let them do their jobs, and you keep them in place. Watch out.
Oakland got back in. Not only that, Bussy at times has taken 4 to 6 weeks in a particular offseason to go work with a player or two. And his offseason workouts.
He's with Anthony every morning, isn't he, in the gym?
And he spent a lot of time with Starlin Castro a couple of winters ago. Three and one.
Tighten up those gloves. Take a big rip.
Long ball is short. And Segura will get Ross to end the inning. Bottom of the 6th. Don't go anywhere. Lots of zeros on that bottom line. Well, Kyle Hendricks has done pretty much whatever he's wanted to tonight. He's executed his pitches throughout. Final regular season start, number 32 on the year.
Yeah, it'd be his third consecutive really outstanding outing. time out against the Royals. He's had his career high with 9 strikeouts. He's got 7 so far tonight, including 5 in a row. At one point, 66 pitches, hasn't walked anybody. He's been out in front of most hitters.
Hernan Perez fouls away for strike 1. They're in the 6th in Pittsburgh. It's still 2-1 Cincinnati. Cubs trying to stay alive for home field in the wild card until the final day. We'll see what happens tomorrow if they can do it. Change up, line to Bryant.
Sometimes sprinkling a little good fortune too. I mean, it's not a bad pitch at all, but it's hit hard. Those went down and got it. Bryant, Johnny on the spot.
Maldonado, and it looks like a pinch hitter for Wagner. Michael Reed is on deck. Max Scherzer has a no-hitter through 6 in New York. Nationals lead that 2-0. Kyle Hendricks gives up his first hit, first base runner tonight after retiring the first 16 in a row. Team Maldonado.
Fans appreciating the effort from Kyle Hendricks here tonight. He gives up his first base runner.
Jonathan Lucroy instead will pinch hit. It's a 1-0 ball game the way Kyle's been dealing. It's felt like a more comfortable lead than that.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's just some kind of banged up Brewer lineup that hasn't been scoring many runs. They got shut down last night. Hendricks has had them completely handcuffed here tonight. So when you watch a game like this, you get the sense that the Brewers are never going to be able to score, and that's a dangerous supposition. I mean, you can break out, and then this guy's certainly a capable hitter. Cubs have missed some opportunities to add on to their lead.
Very short lead by Maldonado. Lucroy takes a strike. It is raining in Atlanta. Cardinals and the Braves tonight. And it looks like a pretty meaningless game. But guess who's pitching?
It's the Shelby Miller watch.
Shelby Miller, final start. Winless over his last 24. He's 0-16 with a 377. The major league record for consecutive winless starts, by the way, is 28.
Is that Anthony Young?
I know JoJo Reyes, or several guys with 28. Called strike.
Painting that outside corner.
Zach
the professor. He's the professor of the art class.
Oh, 2 on the pinch hitter. Now 1-2.
So you think very fans have mailed Shelby Miller rabbit's feet and all manner of lucky talisman.
Cliff Curtis, Matt Keogh, and JoJo Reyes share the record. Count even, 2-2.
It looked like the game plan here is to stay away from LaCroix. Now they may change that up after giving him a lot of looks down and away. He's certainly capable of punching that ball through the hole on the right side. And Maldonado, a really fleet-footed guy, but perhaps can go first to third on a ball like that. One thing Hendricks and Ross don't want to do here, obviously, is to make a mistake in the middle of the strike zone, because that might happen.
Has held the Brewers to 1 for 17. 7 strikeouts. Hey, got him. Number 8 for Hendricks. Just never gets to the target. Very tough pitch to lay off with 2 strikes.
It's like walking down a flight of stairs and reaching for that step that's not there.
Jeanette bounces right to Rizzo, and that'll end the inning. Milwaukee gets its first hit, with Maldonado left stranded at first base. 1-0 Cubs. We go to the 7th.
Take home a game used or autographed item and help benefit Cubs charities. Cubs Authentics is the premier outlet for all MLB authenticated Cubs memorabilia. Visit Cubs.com/authentics to bid on weekly auction items and to pre-order game used bases and baseballs. Cubs will donate net proceeds from the sale of Cubs Authentics to Cubs charities.
Tip for Kyle Hendricks. Jorge Soler will bat for him. Left-hander Will Smith takes over for the Brewers. What a finish by Hendricks. And the starting rotation 7 times through here. 7 times out. 1 earned run total.
Smith, talented left-hander, having a fine year. 2.79 ERA. A lot of swings and misses. Wagner hung in there. Third big league start. Just the 1 run on 7 hits. Pitched out of some trouble.
Got out of that big bases loaded jam by getting Bryant on a strikeout and Rizzo on a ground out in the 5th. 1-0 to Soler is low. 2 balls, no strikes. Nine strikeouts to tie his career high last time. 8 tonight for Hendricks. 3-0. What will Soler's role be moving forward into the postseason? Will DL stints this year, interrupting his season?
Yeah, I'm curious, but I like the look of his at bats since he's come back, and he hasn't had a ton of them.
A leadoff walk here in the 7th. Yeah, the Cubs have a lot of outfielders, and that will be one of the conversations, I'm sure. How many do you want on the wild card roster and then the division series roster? Cubs acquired Austin Jackson. There's Jackson. Got Chris Denorfia, who's been really good as a pinch hitter. Joel trusts him defensively at all 3 spots in the outfield. Schwarber and Bryant can play in the outfield. There's a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Good problem.
At the end of the day, there are be some tough decisions. It's easier for that wild card game because you don't have to carry extra starting pitchers, so you have more flexibility in your roster. You can carry an extra position player or 2 or 3, depending on how many relievers you want. Where it gets a little prickly is the next round.
1-1 to Fowler. Behind Fowler, 3-1. He walked Soler to lead off the inning. Back-to-back walks. And Craig Counsell going out to home plate umpire while Rick Kranitz is heading to the mound.
Well, Smith did a little double take or said something to Hamari, and Hamari pulled the mask off, and I don't know if he barked out at Smith, but whatever it was, Counsell wasn't happy with body language from the home plate umpire, so he wanted to make sure he was out there, make sure things didn't get out of hand. In the meantime, Kranitz out there to talk to Smith. Asking for a little peace. Are we okay here? And then second guessing the call as well. He's fighting for his guys. That's what you do all the way down. It's easy. We'll end tomorrow. You don't quit playing.
So here is Austin Jackson for Schwarber. 2 on, nobody out. Corner men in and a strike.
Joe, talking with reporters before the game today, said his final few games he's treating kind of like the instructional league. I'm doing some early work today, working on bunt plays, a couple at bats, and then he'll start to change out some of his position players. He wants to keep everybody fresh, give everybody ABs, everybody he's counting on or contemplating for the postseason roster anyway. Talking about the early work, so he likes to do it early in the season when everybody's still fresh, and then now it's late in the year and it's with an eye towards the postseason. During the long summer months and the heat of the summer and the everyday grind of the baseball season, he backs way off. Not only early work, but BP.
Chop to third. Perez in. He's only got one play. That's first. So Jackson bounces out, and the Cubs have two in scoring position with one away for Bryant, who struck out in the bases loaded situation his last time up.
There he goes again with a chance to get to 100 RBI. A little anxious last time, chased a couple of changeups out of the strike zone. This time he's got a lefty on the mound and Will Smith. Infield in. Scooter Gennett still trying to get some directions from the dugout as to where they want him deployed.
Swing and a miss. He held 1-1.
We got a base open here. He may be in pitch around mode, or certainly if Chris is going to expand the zone, keep working out of the zone.
Two and one. Reds adding to their lead. Adam Duvall blasting one to right center off A.J. Burnett. 3-1 in the seventh. Two and one on Bryant. Swing and a miss. It's 2-2. Left down for Chris's last two at bats. 2 outs. So the Duvall home run bounced back onto the field. Andrew McCutchen picked it up and threw it in the river.
How did that end up back on the field?
I don't know. Well, a fan threw it. I don't know. I saw the end of it.
And again, Brian just overly anxious in that situation.
Martinez, bench coach, encouraging. Should be the National League Rookie of the Year running away. In the air to left. Smith gets out of it. So he'll stretch here in Milwaukee. Cubs have had chances to really stretch this lead. Andrew McCutchen not too fond of that Adam Duvall home run. Oh my goodness. when you combine Joe Madden's love of boxing with his wife Jade's love of spin classes. It's called Spoxing. Join Kelly Crawl for a workout at Wrigley Field. See what it's all about on the Hunt for October, presented by Feldco tonight on Sportsnet Central. JD likes to spox in the booth about 45 minutes before we hit the air. Get some revved up for the game.
Yeah. More spinking, sitting and thinking. Sharp's been on a pretty good roll here. He's given up just one run in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 appearances. And during that time, he's only walked one. He struck out a bunch. For the year, he's got a 2.96 ERA. This is his second appearance on the trip. A scoreless inning the other night in Cincinnati.
Ball one on Gene Segura.
The other day, I guess it was the day game, getaway day.
One and one. Here's Jeremy Jeffress up in the Milwaukee bullpen.
Averages 95 miles an hour with his heater. A couple of darts there. 95 to 94 right at the knees. Pretty much an equal mix, fastballs and sliders from Stroke.
A 2-2. Swing and a miss on a slider.
A couple good heaters down around the knees on the plate. Then the slider starts on the plate, breaks well off, and a feeble swing by Segura.
And 0 for 6 in the series. Dangerous bat though, 20 homers. And ball one. Nothing Cubs. Already in the wild card game. They know their opponent. They're trying to get home field advantage. Swing and a miss. 2-1.
We believe that Mr. Lynn there was sitting on a heater.
Three and one. Lind and the guy on deck, Davis, probably have one thought on their mind, and that is try to tie it up here with one swing. Combined 47 home runs. A.J. Burnett is out of the ball game in the 7th in Pittsburgh. 3-1 Reds. Big standing ovation when he left. His final career regular season outing. Strike call, 3-2. Max Scherzer, 15 strikeouts and a no-hitter through 8 in New York.
Fourth time this year he's had a no-hitter through 6.
Sharply hit on the ground, right to Rizzo. Stroke to first. It goes 3-1. Max Scherzer closing in on what would be his second no-hitter of the year.
He got off to that great start. probably better than anybody in the first half. He went through a little bit of a slump, obviously finishing strong. Stroke 30 years of age. A position player when he started out. He was in the Rockies system as primarily a shortstop. Didn't do a whole lot with the bat. Made the transition to the mound. Debuted with the Rangers. Cubs got him from the Orioles.
Ground to the shortstop, Russell. Pedro said, I can pick it at short. So they just couldn't hit a slider. Made the right career choice.
So many.
1-0 after 7. Chance to purchase 2015 Cubs postseason tickets for games played at Wrigley Field. Go to Cubs.com/postseason to register and learn more. The Cubs will conduct a second random drawing from among eligible fans who successfully complete the registration form. The registration period for National League Championship Series games ends at noon Thursday, October 8th. Jeremy Jeffress, a right-hander, is on for Milwaukee.
Has had a busy year. He's working for the 72nd time, and he's had a good year. 2.69 ERA. He was originally a Brewer and then moved along to the Royals. Now back in a Brewer uniform after a time with the Blue Jays. Throws hard.
Christian Yelich is having quite a day.
What's he doing?
So the Marlins beat the Phillies in the first of a doubleheader earlier, 7-6. Yelich went 5 for 5. They're playing game 2 right now. Miami with a 3-1 lead in the 5th, and Yelich is 3 for 3. So
wow.
He's 8 for 8 in that doubleheader.
Well, he's a good hitter. We haven't seen the fish in a long time. And he got off to a slow start. But I think by the time we saw him the second go around, he had turned it on a little bit.
It's just not perfect for Shelby Miller. Game was rained out.
Really?
So I assume a doubleheader tomorrow.
Where were they in the game? How far along?
I don't know if they even started.
That dude, man, it's like Eeyore. It's a cloud following him around.
2-0 on Castro. Here's a pitch. It's a strike. 2-1. Wes Coghlan. Triple, double, single. First 3 at bats.
Starlin 0 for 3 so far tonight. He's not made solid contact. Bounced into a double play in the fourth. Popped up to second first time up last time. Lifted one to center. Lately, it's been a lot of solid contact.
He walks.
All right, here we go. That hit a home run. Xfinity high-speed action. Busy day for Coughlin. Got started early. Nice catch out in the gap in left center. And here he goes to work with a bat. Three-bagger with one out in the second. He scored on an Addison Russell single. That's the one run in the ball game. He's added a double and a single, and now he's going to hit a home run to hit for the cycle.
Ball strike.
Didn't have to be.
Barry running.
How about an inside the park home run to hit for the cycle?
Great way to complete it. A good question on Twitter, and we get it occasionally, asking why a catcher will look at a batter's eyes and pause before he gives the signs to the pitcher. Now, batters have ways and means of taking a little peek. So you're just making sure the batter doesn't get any ideas. Well, at first, Barry able to see that easily.
Yeah, and it can be bad for a hitter's health to fall into that habit of cheating like that, peeking back there. If pitchers and catchers find out, might get one in the ribs. It's like stealing signs from second base. It's all kind of all part of the game, but the peeking at the catcher's sign, nobody buys into that.
Well, I think the Brewers rightly know that Barry into the game. He's probably going to think about running. Cubs are ahead by one. Might be a little more aggressive ahead in a ball game like this.
And this is why Barry was acquired.
Yeah.
To be that guy who could come into the ball game and steal a big base for you. He had been 25 out of 25 in his big league career until he got caught here recently. Pitcher is quick to home plate. You have to be a little more daring with your lead and your break at first base. Some guys are so quick to home they just shuts the running game down. When you're a guy like Barry, and that's how you make your money, you got to be willing to take some chances.
There he goes. Here's a throw. Not a good one. Goes into center. Barry now. We're ahead to third. Well, stolen base E2.
And now Leonardo has a very strong arm and has been very effective at throwing out base runners this year. He's thrown out 40%, which is way above average. Sails this throw into center field. Not the easiest pitch to handle, and it looked like he never really got a good grip on it.
Infield will come in. 2-1.
Well, we were pulling for the home run for the cycle. Now we'll settle for a base hit, sac fly, anything to get that insurance run home.
Kick and the 2-1 swing and a miss. 2-2.
That's a good curveball. 95 miles an hour with the heater, and then snap off a breaking ball like that. Create some serious problems for the hitter.
Foul. Scherzer, 17 strikeouts, 2 outs in the ninth, 1 out away from a no-hitter.
April and September, right?
Strikeouts.
He's got 9 in a row.
9 in a row.
Record's 10. Right. Receiver had 10 to finish a ball game.
The matchup, and it's over. A no-hitter for Scherzer, second of the year. Strike 3, Conley is out.
April and September, the months with the most no-hitters. Scherzer always a candidate.
So he did not get a strikeout, a pop-out to end it. A 17 strikeout no-hitter. So it's been a very difficult, at times dysfunctional year for the Washington Nationals, but Max Scherzer has been a big-time bright spot. Incredible. Safety squeeze as Russell put down the back to bunt it and then took it inside. Barry was heading down third base.
Cubs were working on this before the ball game today. Push bunt to the right side. Probably get the job done.
Just threw it. Barry not really in danger as he was basically going down the line with the third baseman, so there's nobody on the bag. 1-2.
Yeah, that's suicide squeeze. The runner's going with the pitch. Hence suicide squeeze. If you don't get the bunt down, the base runner's dead man walking or dead man running really fast. The safety squeeze is a situation where the base runner's coming down the line, but not selling out. He's reading the ball, waiting for the ball down before he sprints home.
Swing and a miss. Jeffress really pumped up. I think he thought it was third out.
That was definitely a third out reaction. Either that or he just hit a big incentive.
That's a third out celebration. I don't care what anybody says.
That's a win the World Series celebration.
I'd say I just threw my second no-hitter of the year. Here's David Ross. Boy, the Cubs have had all kinds of chances to extend their lead. 9 left on through 7. Eighth inning in Pittsburgh. Reds batting, leading 3-1. Cubs up 1-0 here. That's a strike. It's 1-1. So Max Scherzer's 14-12 with a .279, and he won't get a sniff at the Cy Young. 2 no-hitters.
Well, I mean, Garrett Cole had a big year. I mean, a number of guys in an ordinary year would be in that conversation. But Arrieta, Greinke, Kershaw, trifecta has been anything but ordinary. Aroldis Chapman pitched in the ballgame last night for the Reds, but he only pitched 1 inning through 13 pitches. So hopefully he's good to go here tonight.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Ross. Here it comes. He got it. Ruff was pumped up after the 3rd out. So he gets out of a big-time jam. Scherzer with his 2nd no-hitter of the year. Cubs offers special programs designed just for your future Cub. For kids Sundays at the ballpark to Clark's crew, we have various ways to build lifelong Cubs memories with your kids. Visit Cubs.com/kids to learn about all these exciting offerings. Javier Baez now in to play second. Castro is lifted for the pinch runner. Changeup specialist Fernando Rodney will pitch.
These are his numbers. Seattle and Cubs, 7-5, 482. 1-2-3 inning for Strop in the 7th. After a whole bunch of those from Kyle Hendricks. Brewers have 1 hit. 1 out single by Maldonado in the 6th. That's their only base runner.
He's outside. Max Scherzer is not the first pitcher to throw 2 no-hitters in a season. He, according to Hardball Stats, is the second pitcher to strike out 17 or more in a no-no. Nolan Ryan did it in 1973. Ryan had 2 in a season. Roy Halladay did. 1 was in the postseason.
Johnny Vandermeer, back-to-back starts.
Virgil Trucks. Vandermeer back-to-back. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Full count, 3-2. And Santana. Allie Reynolds, 1951. Virgil Trucks the following year, 1952. And Ryan was the last to do it in the regular season before Scherzer in 1973. Seventh no-hitter in baseball this year. Cubs have been involved in 2. Cole Hamels against them and Jake Arrieta at the Dodgers. And the dreaded leadoff walk.
Santana had struck out his first 2 times up. A little closer, he probably offers there. He will take his walks. He strikes out a lot, but he'll also take some walks. 73 the year Ryan had the 2 no-hitters. He struck out 383. That's a record.
Vandermeer back-to-backs. June 11th, June 15th, 1938. Forever, right? We heard no one will ever do that again.
Right.
Are we getting to the point now, this era?
Yeah,
where it's more than possible?
Sure. And I'm a little fuzzy on the details, and I don't want to take away from Vandermeer's feet, but one of those games was the first night game, and something of the lights were not good.
To Peterson. Struck him out. Fastball 95 that time.
That's one we just take and hope, because that's a very difficult pitch to do anything with. Heck of a pitch by Rodney.
Perez, the third baseman. Strikeout and a line out. He's 0 for 5 on the weekend.
Vandermeer's second no-hitter against Brooklyn at Abbott's Field in 1938 was the first night game under the newly installed lights here in Brooklyn.
Line, and that'll get down. Santana makes a turn. Easily will make third. So the Brewers with their best opportunity. First and third with only one out, and a guy with the only previous hit for this Brewers offense. Martin Maldonado coming up.
Smart play here, getting this ball back into second base to keep the go-ahead run out of scoring position. They weren't going to get Santana at third. You can see that play develop.
To wrap up the Scherzer note, again, 6th pitcher ever to throw 2 no-hitters in a season. That includes Roy Halladay with the postseason no-hitter. Vandermeer, Reynolds, Ryan, Trucks, Halladay, Scherzer. Strike called on Maldonado. and 1.
Maldonado's grounded to third tonight. His base hit was a sharply hit ground ball into center field. The Cubs have in mind they're playing for 2.
That's the goal here. Either a strikeout or a double play ball. Jason Rogers is in the on-deck circle. Do not want to let this one slip away. Especially with the Pirates losing tonight, trailing 3-1 in the 8th. 2-1. Reds are batting in that 8th inning. Swing and a miss. It's 2-2.
Cambio.
Throwing right now in the bullpen, but that is going to change, it appears. 18 pitches already for Rodney here in the 8th. Ground ball. Bryant picks it up. They get one. They get both. Not a great throw by Baez, but Rizzo able to dig it out. 5-4-3. Inning over.
Not the prettiest double play, but they got the job done.
Cubs remain ahead 1-0 late. Cubs playoff preview show. Cap and Holly will take a look at Wednesday's wild card matchup, plus what lies ahead in a potential division series matchup with the Cardinals. Cubs playoff preview show presented by Felco, Tuesday at 10:30 on CSN Chicago. Here's Joe Madden on the Cubs matchup with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I learned that the scouting reports at that time of the year, if you could grab a nugget or two, I mean a couple nuggets, and furthermore, not even give them to your players. I mean, the players They just need to go play. Now, if something in game you can remind somebody about, that's probably the best way. Believe me, it sounds like you're nuts. I mean, they should be able to handle this. They're big league players. They've been doing this for a long time. Our game really requires kind of an open, free mind to play. And if you're bogging it down with stuff, man, it can only get in the way.
Again, that's the less is more theory. Joe Madden sticking with it. He has stuck to his guns on the idea of play the game the same way on March 15th as you do on April 15th, as you do on October 15th. It's not going to change now.
Yeah, and how much more information can you give guys after playing a full season and a whole bunch of games against the Pirates? And as I said, if there's a nugget or two you come up with in your scouting reports and any video or research you do, you remind guys, but not a whole lot of like football. Going to add some trick plays or anything like that. I think we have a catcher's interference call here.
Tommy La Stella pinch hitting, and he reaches on the catcher's interference, so that will not be an official at bat and charge an error to Maldonado. We've got the closer on, Francisco Rodriguez. Fowler. Shows bunt and takes ball one.
Perez way in at third. Anticipating bunt.
That's a strike. 1-1.
Rodriguez has been around a long time. Broke into the Angels in 2002. They pitched 5 times in the regular season, but was a big part of it in the postseason for them that year. Just a kid then, so even though he's been around a long time, still just 33 years of age.
Foul right at the plate.
Ron Coomer likes to tell the story. We were just talking about Joe and his approach towards scouting reports and things like that. Coomer was with the Yankees that year, and in their meeting before the, I guess it was the ALCS, whatever it was, the series against the Angels, Gene Michael had been doing some advancing for the Yankees, and he came into their meeting and he said, if this young Rodriguez guy comes in the game, if he's throwing strikes, you don't have a chance. Basically the message he delivered.
Was accurate. Strike 3. Fowler, who's reached 3 times tonight. 2 times he has not. It's been a strikeout looking. Hector Rondon getting ready for a save situation in the bottom of the 9th.
Caesar is going to run for La Stella.
That's Caesar, number 41, pitch running first base.
Jackson had an 8 RBI 2-day stretch in that series against Cincinnati, and he hits one hard into center. Caesar will stop at second. And Santana had picked it up quickly.
Well, he got out there awfully quickly. Sharply struck by Jackson. So he continues to swing a hot bat. And here comes Chris Bryant with yet another chance for RBI number 100. A bullet up the middle. Caesar had a notion. Last 2 times up, Chris has struck out, and they really haven't thrown him strikes. Chasing pitches out of the zone, soft stuff down. And that's a lot of what Rodriguez features as well. Very good breaking ball, outstanding changeup.
Ball 1 on Bryant. Tight ball games here involving the wild card race. We know the 2 teams, Cubs and the Pirates. Just don't know where the game will be. Cubs lead 1-0 here. Pirates trail 3-1 in the bottom of the 8th in Pittsburgh. Magic number for the Pirates to host that game is 1. 1-1 to Chris Bryant. Astros leading Arizona 3-0, top of the 6th in Phoenix. Astros cannot clinch a wild card spot tonight because of the Angels' big comeback win. But because of that game, they still could catch the Rangers, tie them atop the American League West.
That happened, and that would necessitate an extra game, correct, to determine the division winner, and then the loser would play the Yankees. Yeah.
The winner of the season series was the Rangers, 13-6. So that game would be in Arlington. Run it 4. 3-2. If you'd like to keep score at home, the Estella catches interference. It's a CI, and then the error on the catcher does not count it as at bat. Kind of like a walker. A hit by pitch. It started the inning. 2 batters later, Jackson with a single. 3-2 on Bryant, and the pitch, and he strikes out.
Frustrating night for Bryant. A lot of chances. He's left a lot of men on base. He's like, could somebody please just throw me a fastball?
So that is 8 left on base tonight, I believe. Total 7 in his last 3 plate appearances. And once again, it'll be up to Rizzo with 2 outs. P.S. Aroldis Chapman brought on in the 8th with 2 outs to face Andrew McCutchen as the tying run at the plate. So Brian Price is not messing around, nor should he, with a team that's lost 13 in a row.
Yeah.
He understands that it has implications for the team he's playing.
These guys have all winter to rest.
One strike on Rizzo. The pitch. It's low. Rizzo trying not to leave all these guys on base.
You're facing Rodriguez. The fastball is the change of pace. There's so much off-speed stuff. He could fool you with his fastball, which is below average. Pretty rare for a closer. His fastball velocity average a little bit below 90 miles per hour.
Bounce to second. And Jeanette makes the play. So we will go to the bottom of the ninth. It's the Cubs 1 and the Brewers nothing. Second inning RBI single scoring Chris Coghlan. That's been the only run in this ball game. And let's go to Pittsburgh and see how the bottom of the eighth ends. Andrew McCutchen strikes out on a fastball at 100 miles an hour from Aroldis Chapman. They'll go to the ninth, 3-1 Cincy. Hector Rondon, 29 saves last year, 29 this year. So a chance for 30 tonight.
Yeah, those 29 saves coming in 33 save opportunities. He struck out basically a man per inning. And the numbers this year very similar to last across the board. The ERA a good bit better this year, but all the other numbers very similar in terms of appearances and innings.
Jason Rogers pinch hitting and takes a strike on a slider. Strike two.
That's probably the biggest difference in Rondon this year over last is the development of that slider. Uses it a lot more this year, and it's been a very effective pitch for him. Goes along nicely with that upper 90s heater.
Swing and a miss. One away.
There's impressive work right there. A couple of really good sliders and then just reaches back for the elevated heater.
When Rogers came in red hot. With 442 over his last 27 games. Scooter Gennett. Cubs hold on. Kyle Hendricks would finish the year at 8-7. Foul tip, 1-1.
Yeah, and you come out of the game after 6 with a 1-run lead. You know, you're hoping to win, but you're not counting on it. On the road, 1-run ball game. Not that you don't trust your bullpen guys, but those are tough games to win. And especially with all the no decisions he's endured this year. He's left a lot of games with leads and had them get away on him.
Looking for their 21st shutout. pitch to Baez. 2 gone. It's Gene Segura. Well, this is the kind of game we could see on Wednesday. Very low scoring. This should do it. Baez. Easy play. Cubs win. Cubs win. They take their 7th in a row. And if the Reds hang on to their 2-run lead late in Pittsburgh, the Cubs will go into tomorrow still with a chance to host that game on Wednesday.
Wouldn't that be something?
Wow.
Well, you never know. I like the Cubs' chances the way they've been going along. They'll face yet another rookie pitcher here tomorrow. Kid up from AA will make the start for the Brewers. Tonight's game, Kyle Hendricks, brilliant. And Chris Coughlin offensively with a big night.
Denny's Beverage Depot toast of the game. The starting pitchers have just dominated this award here pretty much all week. And it'll be Kyle Hendricks tonight. Give up 1 hit. That's it.
Well, he pitched 6 innings. He was a perfect until 1 out in the 6th when Maldonado